A sealed god. A dead girl. A forbidden land. 16 beasts. As much artifacts of landscape as they are living creatures. And a lone hero caught between them. This is the IGS series on Team Ico's Shadow of the Colossus, and in this video we're going to run through the story and how the game attempts to communicate that story and its themes to the player, mostly without ever telling them, at least until it's too late. There is very little dialogue in the entire game, and what there is concentrated into the beginning and the end. As we open, we learn that Wander seeks to bring the girl Mono back to life, and it is for this purpose that he has brought her body to the Forbidden Land. He speaks to Dorman, the strange god living there. Dorman is voiced by both a man and a woman, lending him, her, it, an alien cast. Moreover, the dialogue is all done in a constructed fictional language and subtitled, rather than spoken in plain English. This serves to further distance the world in which the game is taking place from the player and the realm of the familiar. The game opens with a monologue describing the Forbidden Land, a place sealed away, forbidden because within its borders lies an entity with the power to bring back the dead, a god, Dorman. The story is narrated by Lord Eamon, who we will not see in person until the very end of the game. Wander speaks to Dorman, begging the god to restore Mono's soul and bring her back to life. Dorman agrees, telling Wander to hunt down the 16 beasts that live in the Forbidden Land and kill them using his sacred sword. Wander agrees. And so you set off on your quest, guided by the light of Wander's sword, which points your way towards the next Colossus in the sequence, the game's way of making sure you're never really lost. Which brings me to a point we should have made in the earlier video. Wander's sword is far more than a simple weapon. Late in the game, we learn from Lord Eamon that Wander had stolen the sword, as it was the only weapon in all the world capable of killing the Colossi. By holding it up, the sword can catch the light of the sun and point the way. Though the game has a map, you never really need it, allowing you to find your way organically, without ever breaking the narrative flow of the game to sift through menu screens. So armed, Wander sets off on his horse into the empty wilderness, hunting Colossus after Colossus after Colossus, and on and on and on. Each time you kill a Colossus, tentacles of black energy bleed out of its body and into Wander, forcing him to pass out and reawaken back at Dorman's shrine where the game began. When Wander awakens, shadowy figures are standing over him, and the statue of the Colossus you have just defeated crumbles to dust. Dorman makes no comment about the tentacles, offers no explanation of how you got back to the temple, and Wander never asks. And maybe you don't either, because this sort of mechanism is not uncommon in video games. Remember the rings of light that warp you out of dungeons in Legend of Zelda games after you've beaten the boss? Again, this is not strange for a game. In most cases, there's no narrative function to this warping system. It's a matter of convenience for the player, as backtracking through lengthy dungeons and across miles of wilderness which one has already cleared is tedious and not fun. But the dark tentacles here serve a narrative purpose. The narrative informs gameplay as much as the gameplay informs the narrative. With the murder of each Colossus, Wander has broken a portion of the seal on the god Dorman's power. What you and Wander did not know is that the Forbidden Land was forbidden because of Dorman itself. The game never says exactly what Dorman's purpose is, why he was sealed away, preferring to leave this as well as many things beside, to the imagination of the player. Why was it sealed away? Will it go on to threaten the world, try to destroy it? We simply don't know. Wander loses everything on his quest. He's already lost Mono when the game began, and he loses bits of himself as the game progresses. Blinded by your desire to bring Mono back from the dead, you have been working to release a dark god from his prison, and things go rather badly. The dark energy flowing into Wander on the death of each of the Colossi is part of Dorman possessing Wander. The greatest single loss in the game, though, is the loss of Aggro, your faithful horse. As you make your way to battle the 16th and final Colossus, he sacrifices himself to save Wander and plunges into the river far below. Left with nothing but his quest and the hope that maybe he can have Mono back, Wander presses on, defeating the last Colossus and freeing Dorman from his prison. It is at this point at the end of the game that Lord Eamon and his soldiers appear, too late to stop the monster god Dorman's resurrection. They kill Wander, and after one final struggle against the newly reborn god, manage to seal him away again. Perhaps this time, forever. As the game ends, with Mono awakening from death, Dorman has been true to his promise. At the edge of the new seal by a pool of water, Mono finds an infant with horns on his head, and Aggro returns, having survived his fall on Wander's approach to the final Colossi, and together they take the infant deeper into Dorman's shrine. Everyone, thanks for watching IGS. We don't have a capture card yet, and credit for the footage goes to Charles Bronson, who very kindly agreed to let us use his. If you can find a link to his channel in the description. If you enjoyed the video, check out the rest of our Shadow of the Colossus series below, and hit the like and subscribe buttons. See you next time.